Good day, everyone. Welcome to a live streaming of Basic Transfer Pricing Philippines. And our topic for today is about the interest, no? Yung charging of interest, kung arm's length ba siya o hindi. And the case is about the uh, visit or the Commissioner of Income Tax in India versus this company in Cyprus, no? Ito yung MSTMW is ASPF, Cyprus Holding Company Limited. Ang nagreklamo dito or yung nag-appeal is the Deceit International Taxation. Ito naman yung parang BAR ng India, no? But hindi lang isang case ito, no? Kasi dalawa. Because in the first case, the appellant is the parang BAR ng India, no? The tax authority. Sa pangalawa, the appellant, the taxpayer naman, siya itong TMW is PFI Cyprus, no? Holding Company Limited. But before we go on, I would like to say thank you sa mga subscribers natin dito sa Basic Transfer Pricing, no? And I'm planning to have another transfer pricing update, no, na gagawin natin. Tingnan natin itong December, masingit natin. Anyway, mga katapusan, meron tayong free bookkeeping ng December 27 and 28. So tingnan natin kung magawa natin siya ng December 29, no? Para may mahabol tayo pang isang activity for the year 2021. Kasi sa 2022, mabilis na lang, nandiyan na yung 2022. And hopefully, we will make it, no? We will make it na ma-make na natin yung 2020, 2021 na nag-lockdown, no? But 3 months hindi tayo nakapag live streaming, hindi tayo nakapag-upload dito sa basic transfer pricing natin because nagkasakit din po tayo, no? We were not spared by the pandemic, no? So sabi ko naman okay lang yun, at least na ranasan natin how it is na kung ano yung parang majority na naranasan ng majority, at least naranasan din natin. Okay? So this case is about interest expense na kinlaim ng actually hindi ito na-claim eh. In-assess, ang assessee dito, ang investor, ito si Cyprus Holding Company, was assessed by the Commissioner of Income Tax ng interest income on investment. No? Ang nangyari dito, nag-invest itong si Cyprus Holding Company sa real estate. And pag investor ka kasi, yung investment mo, may mga features yan. At ano yung features ng investment mo? May agreement yan. Kung ano yung nakapaloob, ano yung nature, at paano nagkakaroon ng income yung investment. Okay. Ang kagandahan dito sa case na to, maganda yung argument ng taxpayer. Why? Anong argument niya? Hindi niya na-receive yung interest, no? At sa income naman natin, kailan magiging taxable yung income natin? Upon recognition. Hindi yung upon realization. Yung na-realize mo talaga, hindi upon recognition. Kasi na-recognize mo nga siya, hindi mo pa naman siya na-realize. It is not yet taxable, no? So, ano mga issues dito? Whether the DRP, ito yung lower court, erred in holding that Article 11.1 and 2 of the India-Cyprus Double Tax Agreement, interest income is chargeable to tax on paid basis when the usage of the word paid always includes payable and vice versa. Ano itong issue na to at bakit ganito yung wordings niya? Because ang appellant dito is the tax authority. O, at gusto ng tax authority i-include yung income kahit payable pa lang siya, which is true in value-added tax kasi in value-added tax, accrual ang recognition natin na accounting income, no? Income ito, and then there is a tax agreement or tax treaty, hindi siya applicable. Why? Kasi in that case, pagka mayroong tax treaty yung dalawang bansa, the tax treaty will prevail over the domestic laws. At ano yung nakalagay doon sa tax treaty? Pwedeng magbayad, pwedeng i-tax ng India yung interest income of the entity in Cyprus provided two things or twin conditions happen. Ano yung twin conditions na yan? There must be a rising of income. Arise na yung income kasi nagkaroon na ng investment. And based on the agreement, it should earn an 18% interest per annum. But, ang hindi nangyari doon is yung payment. Why? Because Cyprus Holding Company Limited was able to prove na yung investing niya na tatlo, na yung siya yung investee yung companies kung saan siya nag-invest were not able to pay Cyprus, no? Sa tatlo company nag-invest siya, only one has paid pero half year lang ng interest. Yung iba, nagkaroon sila ng waiver, kinondon nila. No? So magaling din na abogado kasi he was able to prove na walang income. At anong ginawa nila? Waiver ng interest. Gumawa sila ng waiver na because of the adverse economic conditions, yung mga companies losing, wini-waive nila yung interest. So when you waive the interest, wala ka ng income. No? So, but that is only evidence in court. No? So interest income is chargeable to tax on paid basis when there are no such finding in any decision cited by the assessor before the Honorable DRP, yung lower court. Okay, so wala daw ganong findings. So, another issue is that the lower court erred in not considering that the Honorable Mumbai High Court in the decision, ito yung mga Supreme Court decision na nagkakaroon sila ng reference, no, sa mga cases already decided by the Supreme Court. Na yung sabi nila, yung Article 11.1 at saka 11.2 ng tax treaty between India and Cyprus, ang interest can be accrued on the date on which it was due as per the terms and conditions of the security. Kaya nga sabi ko dito, the issue in this case is crafted by the tax authority. No? Kasi ang purpose ng tax authority is to tax the assessee, which is the Cyprus Holding Company. But company was able to produce evidence, no, na hindi niya tinanggap yung interest income. Hence, yung twin conditions of the double tax agreement hindi na-meet, so hindi siya taxable. Okay, ganun lang eh. Kasi yung isang opinion lang, no, yung pinagtatalunan na issue, may isang twist lang doon na, lalo na sa criminal case, kunting twist lang na doon sa facts and circumstances, hindi mo na pwedeng i-convict yung criminal. Kaya ganun din dito sa tax, no? The Cyprus Holding was able to prove na hindi niya natanggap yung interest income, and according to the Indian Cyprus tax agreement, pag hindi pa bayad, hindi pa siya pwedeng i-tax. Okay. Another issue is the facts of the case. Also, the lower court erred in deleting the addition of interest income made to the total income of the assessee. Kasi anong nangyari dito? Itong si Cyprus Holding Company is an investor, no? Based siya in Cyprus. Investor siya, nag-invest siya sa mga companies in India. Ang pinag-investan niya na mga companies are engaged in real estate business. No? And then meron silang agreement, tatlo yung agreement nila. Yung isa is that mag-invest siya sa mga companies, magbabayad sa kanya, may coupon rate na interest rate of 4%, no? 4% is per annum yan. And then, later on, depende sa kung ano pa yung magpo-prosper doon sa mga transactions nila, ang investment will be converted into equity. Pag sinabi nating converted into equity, yung pautang mo na nag-earn ng interest income, magiging investment na siya, bibili ka na ng shares of stocks nung company where you invested. So, shares of stocks na, part owner ka na ng may-ari ng company kung saan ka nag-invest. No? So, in that case, wala ng pre-agreed na interest income because if you are an investor, you will earn from the income of the corporation in the form of dividend. No? Dividend doon na yung ibibigay sa iyo, hindi na interest. And then another condition is yung investment, no, ng pwede i-convert ng equity and then pwede din niyang ibenta, no, sa iba. Okay. So and what happened during the year under investigation sila is that adverse yung condition ng economic condition. So lugi yung mga companies, hindi nagkaroon ng interest. So since hindi nagkaroon ng income, hindi nakabayad ng interest expense doon sa kanilang investment. No? Okay. Ito naman yung another issue. The lower court erred in deleting the addition of interest income made to the total income of the assessee on the basis of the difference in the arm's length price of the international transaction determined by TPO. TPO po is transfer. They are the ones who make transfer pricing audit. Information, India is very good in transfer pricing. No, they really train their people sa transfer pricing. So, by observing that interest has not been paid when under the provision of Section 92 of the Income Tax Act, actual payment of income is not a condition for substituting the value of international transaction by the arm's length principle of the international transaction. Ito yung contention ng tax authority. But for your information, magpiprevail yung tax treaty. Magpiprevail yung tax treaty natin. Hindi yung magpiprevail yung law or domestic law ng Cyprus. No? Ang magpiprevail dito, ang anong tawag dito? Magpiprevail po dito yung kung ano yung agreement between the two countries in the form of tax treaty or double tax agreement. So, nangyari dito, hindi nasusunod yung arm's length principle in international taxation, which is yun ang sinusunod ng transfer pricing. Hindi po yun nasusunod. No? Another issue in this case is that ang lower court daw erred in observing that the imputing interest income shall lead to unintended income. Ano yung unintended consequence of yung taxable base, no? Taxable base of the company na nawawala yan, no? Kaya nga sabi nila erosion, na i-erode, no? Nawawala. Kasi nga hindi nila kinonsider na taxable ang income ng assessee doon sa tatanggapin niya na interest income coming from the kung saan po siya nag-invest. No? So, yan ang contention po dito. And then, also, another issue is that the DRP or the lower court erred in summarily deleting the adjustment. Tinanggal niya yung isang transfer pricing for that assessment is the determination of the arm's length. Sa paggawa ng transfer pricing audit, as we have discussed in our mga previous discussions po natin, we also rely on the transfer pricing analysis report. And in that transfer pricing analysis, meron tayong mga comparables wherein we compare the company with that of the independent parties in the same industry. No? So same industry sila, maghanap tayo ng comparables. Compare natin, and then we can say, based on the data or information coming the comparables, then we can say na arm's length or hindi arm's length ang price, no? And when can we say that the price is arm's length? If the price of the related parties in the transactions are the same or comparable or hindi makakalayo doon sa price ng related parties at saka yung independent parties, no? In order to prove that, you must have a comparables ng mga independent parties in order na yung information nila i-compare mo doon sa information, financial information of the independent companies. Then you can say na lan sila kung halos pareho sila, no? So, but in this case, yung analysis na yun ng transfer pricing officer were not considered, no? Magaling yung presentation ng magaling yung presentation ng counsel, no, ng Cyprus Holdings. Why? Because they were able to prove na walang interest income received by the Cyprus Holding Company. That's why nothing to tax, no? Okay. Magaling sila. Okay. So, in this case, the appellant prays for leave to add, amend, modify, or alter any grounds of appeal at the time of or before the hearing of the appeal. Kasi nasa appellate court na nga ito. Okay, so the cross objections are in support of the direction given by the DRP. No? Okay. So, ito yung facts of the case. No? So, si Cyprus is a private limited company incorporated in Cyprus. No? So, anong business niya? Investment in the real estate sector. No? And the company in the year 2008, meron siyang invest in the end. Yeah, but mind you, nung nag-invest pa lang siya, independent companies, yung mga third parties, ilak nyo ha. Okay. Nung nag-invest pa lang siya, independent parties pa lang yung mga investee companies, yung tatlo. O, bakit independent parties? Kasi hindi sila related parties. But the moment this Cyprus Holding already invested in those companies, they already become related parties. Why they become related parties? Because yung mga conditions doon sa na sinasabi nila na mangyayari is that una, yung Cyprus, mag-i-invest siya sa companies in India. After investing, and that investment will earn a coupon of interest na 4% per year. No? After that, yung investment ng Cyprus Holding will be converted into equity. No? And for your information, once na equity ka na, you own the shares of stocks of the company, then subsidiary mo na siya. You will now become a related parties. No? So what happened in this? Hindi pa sila related nung nag-invest pa. Nung nag-invest na, related parties na sila. So that's why the transfer pricing officer comes in. No? So the principle of arm's length also already comes in so that they have to observe the arm's length principle in their dealings. Why? Kasi related parties na sila. Because of that condition number 2, na after na mag-invest sila, yung investment ni Cyprus will be converted into equity. Issue na siya ng shares of stocks. So wala nang utang. Investment na siya in the form of equity, stockholders' equity. So, naging subsidiary na niya ngayon itong investee companies. No, kasi itong investment niya is the fully convertible debentures, no? So, naging associated enterprise na niya or related parties na niya yung mga companies. Okay. So, the assessee was entitled to a common rate of 4% And then the post-conversion of the FCCD into equity shares, the companies would buy back at an agreed option price. O imagine, pag invest na doon sa equity, nagbili na ng shares of stocks, itong shares of stocks na nabili nitong Cyprus Holding, pwede na i-buyback ng investee company at an agreed option price, no? Option price. But ang nangyari dito sa case na to, nagkaroon ng adverse economic condition so that yung Cyprus Limited Holding Company, itong buyback option price, hindi ito nangyari. And in fact, anong nangyari dito? The investment of Cyprus Holding Company Limited to these investee companies, binenta na niya sa third parties at par, walang gain, hindi siya tumubo. Kasi nga, hindi na niya makolekta in spite of the demand and notices coming from the companies. Kaya ginawa nila, winave na lang nila yung interest. Wala ng receivables. No? So, but if you try to look at it, once na winave mo yung liabilities ng isang taxpayer, ano yan? That will give rise to donation. No? And donation is subject to donor's tax. Okay. So the option price would be such that the investor gets the original investment paid on subscription of the FCCDs plus a return of 18% per annum. Okay. Assessee had received interest income of 60 million from one of the three investee, pero half year lang yon, hindi niya na-receive yung full. No? So no interest was received by the assessee from other companies. No? Sa isang company lang siya naka-receive. So, in the limited counsel before nag-present dito sa court, the assessee company had sent multiple notices and followed up with the investee companies in relation to the defaults and non-compliance with the agreed terms of the agreement. No? Since investment ito, di ko lang alam kung may mga collaterals ito or whatever. Kasi pag halimbawa yung mga ganitong sitwasyon, and there is an agreement between the investor and the investee. If you are the transfer pricing officer, then you have to go all through these contracts and agreements para makita mo talaga kung ano yung mga conditions doon. At you can always benchmark it kung those conditions are all arm's length. No? However, no resolution could be sought in this regard kasi hindi na nila makolekta. Assessee company on account of the downturn in the real estate market, na down yung real estate market sa India. Kailan yun? 2008. No? 2008. And the fact that the companies were in bad financial position and facing cash crunch waived its right to receive interest under a mutual agreement with the investee companies. No? So, na-waive na yung interest. Okay. Assessee company was selected for detailed scrutiny and the matter was referred by the assessing officer to the transfer pricing officer. At hindi ang transfer pricing officer sa India, no? As I told you, I have classmates nung nag-aral ako sa Malaysia, conducted by the OECD. May mga classmates ako doon na mga Indian, ang galing-galing nila, no? Alam na nila yung mga ratios, alam na nila yung mga tested parties. Ang dali-dali nilang mag-resolve ng transfer pricing case, no? So the international transactions entered by the assessee during the caption assessment year were not arm's length or no, are arm's length or not. So TPO held that no assessee was to earn an assured return of 18% and determined the arm's length price of the coupon rate to be 18% instead of coupon rate of 4%. No? Kasi sabi ng transfer pricing officer, yung interest niya is 18%, hindi 4%. Why dito naman ang after dito ng tax authority is the interest income before, because they have to tax the income on interest, no? At ano ba yung rate? 10% kasi sa tax treaties, no? Ito yung mga pangalan kung saan yung Cyprus Limited, nag-invest siya, no? So these are the Supreme Build Cap Private Limited, all in India, and they have the DD Housing Limited and the Righties Spinning Mills Limited, no? So ang mga investment niya dito sa tatlong companies, total 35 million, no? So in the taxable income, meron silang computation, no? Order by the AO, no, assessing officer. So agreed by the action of the TPO and the consequent addition by the assessing officer, dalawa na yung nag-audit sa kanila, the regular audit at saka the transfer pricing, no? The assessor raised the following question. Sino yung assessor dito? Si Cyprus Holding, no? Kasi sila yung in-assess ng transfer pricing officer to adjust, no? And when we say adjustment, in-adjust mo siya, dagdag yun doon sa net income mo. Okay. So the assessor submitted that limited transfer pricing officer has erred in misconstruing the facts of the case by not appreciating that as per the terms of the agreements entered between the assessee with the investing companies, therefore are three separate and independent events. Ang contention naman kasi ng tax authority dito is that pare-pareho lang yung transactions, but the council was able to prove that they are three independent events, no? And ano yung three independent events? Of course, yung number one, yun yung Cyprus Limited Holdings will invest, no? Mag-subscribe siya sa itong debentures ng investees companies, no? Bearing an annual interest of 4%. And then there is the conversion of FCCD, ito yung pangalawa na transaction, kung nakapag-invest na siya, ngayon ang at annual interest rate of 4%, no? Ngayon yung conversion naman into equity of the conversion price of the completion of the specified term or may be determined by the parties. And three, post-conversion sale of equity shares to the promoters at a consideration providing annualized 18% or 19% return on investment. No, so bawal ang loss. Okay, so the assessee submitted that the latter two events were future and contingent. Wala pa, future pa lang, no? Second event, conversion of FCCDs into equity shares. Okay. So independent future event and the debenture subscription agreement clearly provides the conversion mechanism. No? So the number of equity shares, percentage of equity share capital to be issued by the assessee on conversion. Okay. So debenture subscription agreement specifies that the conversion rates would be in accordance with the guidelines issued by the controller of capital issues, no? So NAV of the company is required to be computed on the subscription date to arrive at the conversion ratio. Okay. So yung assessee, si Cyprus Holding, reiterated that the agreed coupon rate of 4% has not been received by the assessee during the subject year, except for a half-year interest from one of the investing company and in the subsequent 4 years. Investing companies have requested for the waiver of interest due to bad financial position. Yun na yung contention ng lawyer, no? Okay. Part of the ECCD held in DD Housing were sold to a third party, so hindi na tuloy na convert the equity into, convert the investment into equity, and then may option yung Indian company to buy back, no? In this case, hindi siya nasunod. Why? Because hindi siya nakabay ng interest and the property were sold to the third party. yung investment niya, no? So instead na i-buyback option ng investing company since lugi siya, sa third party na nila binenta, no? Okay. So converted shares in Supreme were sold to a third party in the subsequent year at par, no? Okay. So far nasaan na tayo sa transfer pricing natin. We are still discussing about the case, no? This is the case of the tax authority versus the Cyprus Holding Company, and the issues here are about interest, no? Na kailan ba siya talaga payable? Upon accrual or upon realization, no? So, kasi ang income, may maraming technicalities ang income. Once na hindi mo pa realize yung income, hindi siya taxable, no, in your part. So, assessing officer erred in disregarding the fact that the interest on FCDDs has been waived by the mutual agreement of the parties, and hence the assessee had no right to receive the interest expense. Excuse me. Okay. So, yung SPF1 is a tax resident of Cyprus, no? So, kahit na meron silang tax treaty with New Zealand, since itong SPI is resident in Cyprus, no? Doon siya nakatira. So, doon na ang lahat, no? Ang taxability ng income. Article 11 of the DTTA provides that interest income can be taxed in India only on fulfillment of the two conditions of arising and payment. No? So interest arising in contracting state and paid to the resident of the other contracting state may be taxed in that other state. No? So isa lang, kasi nga karon sila nag-agreement in order to recognize talaga kung saan na pupunta yung interest at papaano siya recognize, no, ng recipient of the party. No, kasi both of them makinabang no, yung on the part of the investee nagamit niya yung investment ng Cyprus Holding, no? So the above clause make it clear that for taxing the interest income in the hands of non-resident is necessary that such an income must be paid, and notional or accrued interest income cannot be brought under the purview of Article 11 of the TAA. No? Reliance is placed on the following. So, yung case na to is in favor of Cyprus Holding Company. No? So, ito yung mga minention nila na mga kaso. Okay? So, National Organic Chemical Industries Limited, okay, ang dami nilang cases eh. In that case, the assessee further contended that TPO erred in benchmarking the arm's length principle of interest, which that of loan, without appreciating that the investment made by assessee are akin to equity and not to loan. Alam nyo, tax savings devices din to ng mga taxpayers, no? Kasi hindi nila properly classified yung kanilang investment. Gusto nila may mga gray areas para nakakatipid sila ng tax, no? Okay. So, ESPFI was incorporated for the purpose of investing in real estate companies. So, it has been clearly drawn in the agreements that it subscribes the FCCD as an investor and not as a lender. No? Kaya nga, there is such thing na dinevelop yung OECD, yung hybrid mismatch. Why hybrid? Kasi yung isang amount dito or account ng investment, ginawa nila na maraming interpretations, no? Pwede mo consider na equity, and then pwede mo rin i-consider na interest expense talaga niya, no? Okay. FCCD are not to be repaid but retained by converting into equity shares. So therefore, it cannot be said to be a borrowing of loan. No? So ready na yan sila dito kasi may mga lawyers specialized on that. In this case, Deloitte. No? So, FCCDs are not to be paid but retained by converting into equity shares. No? So, wala nang borrowing, wala nang loan. Pinalitan na nila. No? Okay. So, what happened in this case? The DRP concurred with the contentions of the assessee and held as under. Sino yung assessee dito? Yung Cyprus Holding. So, yung lower court, nagkaroon siya ng decision in favor of the Cyprus Holdings. No? Okay. So, what happened in this case? In this case, the court is in favor of the Cyprus Holdings. Kaya talo dito yung tax authority. No? Anong pagkakasabi nung decision ng court? Ha? Okay. Sino yung mga company na doon siya nag-invest? We have the DD Housing Limited, we have the Supreme Build Camp Private Limited, and Rightis Spinning Mills Limited. So doon nag-invest si Cyprus Holding. No? And then, anong decision dito ng court? Okay. Anong decision, no? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, the decision is in favor of Cyprus Holding Company. Pero ano yung basis? Ano yung basis ng court in favoring this taxpayer, no? Ito yung si Cyprus Holding Company. Okay. Okay. So this order was pronounced by the taxpayer in open court in August 2019. So bago lang tong kaso na to. 2019 lang siya decided, no? Okay. Ito yung sinasabi ng tax treaty between Indonesia and Cyprus. Sabi niya, under Article 11, number 1 of the Indian-Cyprus double tax agreement reads as under. No? We have interest arising in a contracting state and paid to a resident of the other contracting state may be taxed in that other state. Also, so very friendly yung first na statement, no? Pwede daw i-tax in that other state, meaning sa India, pagka nagkaroon ng interest, no? Income na yung holding company. Okay. So for taxing the interest income in the hands of the non-resident, it is necessary that the interest should arise in a contracting state. So saan nanggagaling yung income? From the contracting state. So twin conditions of accrual, no? I-accrued mo na yung interest income, as well as the payment are to be satisfied. So if there is no accrual or actual payment received, the same is to be decided within the scope of Article 11.1. No? So the transfer pricing officer have sought to tax is that assessee was supposed to receive interest of 18%. Nasa kontrata nila, no? So dapat may interest siya na ma-receive na 18%, no? But there is a contingent event, no? Hindi inaasahan. Kagaya ng nangyayari ngayon sa part ng Visayas natin, no, nandun yung bagyo na malakas. So the TPO have sought to tax is that assessee was supposed to receive interest of 18%, no? So if the contingent event would happen, so in the event, the option was exercised by the assessee to sell its converted shares to the promoters of investing company at an option price, and it would have given the return of 18%. No? So magaling din sila. So the entire edifice of the TPO was based on fixation of contingent event. Ang income kasi hindi po pwedeng base mo sa contingent event. Ibig sabihin ng contingent event, yet to happen. No? Hindi mo pa alam kung mangyayari o hindi. So which assessee was supposed to receive? It is also a matter of record. No such conversion was actualized and assessee remained invested even during the year under consideration. At walang nangyari na conversion. No? So transfer pricing adjustments has been made on this hypothetical amount of interest receivable. Interest receivable lang based on the contract. But since there are 3 happenings na may mga contingency na dapat i-anticipate at it did not happen, so walang income na. It was proved by the legal counsel of the Cyprus Holding na walang nangyari no, na interest. In fact, the interest receivable was waived. So wala nang itatax ang company. No? So yun po yung case natin on this transfer pricing on interest, no? Interest, kung kailan ba payable yung interest, whether it is accrued or talagang received na ba or paid, no? O taxable pa ba siya kahit na inaccrue pa lang siya and then payable pa siya. But very clear yung Indian and Cyprus tax agreement or tax treaty na kung hindi pa siya bayad, hindi pa siya pwedeng i-tax. No? Yun yung reason na nanalo dito yung Cyprus Holding Company. So with that, I would like to say thank you and see you on our next, may mga free webinars po tayo. No? So of this time, since napaka-unstable pa nung mga nakaraan natin, hindi pa tayo schedule no, ng mga seminars natin, but hopefully we can improve na our services in our YouTube channel. So thank you very much. Let's call it a day.